I always found solace in the world of words, crafting stories from the depths of my imagination, bringing characters to life on paper. It was a sanctuary, an escape from reality that allowed me to explore the darkest corners of the human psyche. Little did I know that this passion of mine would eventually pave the way to my demise. It started innocently enough, with mysterious notes left on my doorstep. At first, I thought it was an avid reader, someone enthralled by my latest novel, but as time passed, the messages grew more sinister. They shifted from adoration and praise to ominous warnings, each one becoming progressively more personal. The killer had taken an interest not only in my writing, but also in my life beyond the pen. The police were baffled, failing to provide any answers or protection. I lived in constant fear, never knowing when the next note would arrive, or if it would be followed by something far worse. The familiar comfort I once sought in my writing now seemed like a double-edged sword, fueling the mad desires of a deranged mind. As the weeks turned into months, my paranoia infected every aspect of my existence. My own novels now felt like prison walls, trapping me within the clutches of a madman's story. One stormy evening, when the world seemed cloaked in darkness, a package arrived at my doorstep. It was soaked from the rain, the paper sagging under the weight of its contents. With trembling hands, I tore it open, revealing a bound manuscript. A cold shiver ran down my spine as I recognized that font, that handwriting unmistakably belonging to the killer. Fear and curiosity waged a battle within me, but an insatiable need to understand took hold. I devoured the words on those pages, each sentence a twisted revelation of the depths to which this psychopath had descended. The story was hauntingly familiar, an eerie reflection of my own life, intricately woven with tales of suffering and loss. Chapters chronicled the death of loved ones, mirrored the traumatic events of my past. The realization struck me like a blow to the chest. The killer had been watching me, studying every detail for his deranged narrative. Too terrified to put the manuscript down, I powered through its chilling climax. The protagonist, eerily resembling me, met a gruesome fate, falling victim to the very darkness he had once tried to capture in his stories. It was a surreal experience, an uncanny dance between creator and creation, a cruel twist of fate where art became a macabre celebration of death. With trembling hands, I reached the final pages. My heart pounded in my chest, each beat like a ticking clock counting down to my own demise. The story concluded with a sinister invitation, an address belonging to the killer's lair. It was an audacious declaration, a challenge that tightened the knot of dread in my stomach. Though fear pervaded every fiber of my being, a desperate curiosity pushed me forward. Perhaps it was the writer within me, seeking to understand the madness that had ensnared my life. Or maybe it was a foolish attempt to regain control over the narrative that had spiraled out of my grasp. I arrived at the designated address, my footsteps filled with trepidation as I descended into the depths of the killer's lair. The air felt heavy with a putrid stench, the atmosphere pregnant with anticipation. In a dimly lit room, adorned with shelves filled with my own novels, the killer awaited me. Dressed in a macabre costume, he exuded a sinister presence, his eyes gleaming with a twisted kind of satisfaction. He approached me with slow, deliberate steps, relishing in the fear that radiated from my very core. "You inspired me," he rasped, his voice dripping with malevolence. "Your words gave me permission to explore the darkest recesses of the human psyche, and now it is time for you to become part of my masterpiece." The room spun with a sickening mix of terror and resignation. I had unknowingly provided the canvas for this sadistic artist, fueling his delusions with my own stories. The weight of guilt settled upon me like a leaden shroud. With that, the killer lunged at me, a knife glinting wickedly in his hand. I tried to fight back, to summon some hidden reserve of strength, but his grip was ironclad and his fury unmatched. Blow after blow rained down upon me, each cut a macabre stroke in the dark masterpiece he sought to create. As the room grew hazy and the pain dulled into a distant ache, I realized with grim acceptance that I was powerless to alter the cruel fate that had enveloped me. My final breath escaped me, and darkness closed in, erasing all traces of my existence. In death's embrace, I would forever remain a tragic character within the demented narrative of a twisted serial killer. My legacy tainted, forever synonymous with heartache and despair. And as the world turned, oblivious to my tragic end, the killer continued his reign of terror. My name would fade into obscurity, buried beneath the weight of his heinous acts. The stories I had once lovingly fashioned, now stained with the blood of their creator. But perhaps in death, there is a flicker of redemption. my spirit lingers whispering in the ears of fellow writers, urging them to be cautious of the power they wield with their words. A haunting reminder that creativity can be both a blessing and a curse. The world continues to turn, the cycle of life and death unyielding. Yet within the heart of every writer, there is a glimpse of the profound impact they can have on others. May my story serve as a reminder to cherish our craft, to weave tales that inspire, empathize, and heal. For even in the darkest corners, where shadows dance and nightmares lurk, hope can prevail. And perhaps someday the echoes of my tragic tale will fade, replaced by stories of resilience, love, and the strength to overcome the darkness that seeks to devour us all.